We are in a decline, and we need to unite in order to survive. Don't tell me I'm a Muslim and you're a Christian. I don't want to hear that. When you're hungry, and hungry don't give a damn what your religion is. When you are truly educated, you think outside the box of Western education, and you think like a free man and a free woman. Woman is back. This is our time. Let's take advantage of it and be a whole people again.
Greater the oppression, the greater the leadership that's birthed out of that oppression to deliver the oppressed.
Our unity will keep us from having to fire a shot. But if we are not united, the only way we're going to get what belongs to us is to make up our minds either to live to get it or die trying to get it. And when you are willing and not afraid anymore to pay the price for freedom, don't let this white man tell you that violence is wrong. Every damn thing that he got it by being violent.
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from now. There is need for black community to unite, and there is need to the black folks to start fighting for their own rights. Now, Louis Farrakhan says that no one is going to save you. We can't expect the same system that has oppressed black folks to come and start saving them from whatever they are going through. Now, he says that black people have always been divided, and since the time of Martin Luther King, he tried to unite black folks. He tried doing that, but that was the only mistake he did, and that's why they came after him and after his life. Now, he says that it is us to save ourselves or we perish. So let's watch this video, then have a real quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
But your congressman did. The president was forced to say what I said years ago and was called an anti-Semite. That a powerful lobby is in control of the U.S. Senate. You know it and I know it, but I said it and got in trouble. Now the president comes out and he says, we know that there's a powerful lobby, but, and he said a powerful Jewish lobby. This is not anti-Semitism. This is recognition of the wisdom, organizational know-how, and economic strength of a small minority of people who can get their way in America because they're organized. Here we are, nearly 40 million people who fight organization, who fight leadership, who have billions of dollars flowing through our hands. That if we would unite like the common market and recognize we are in a decline and we need to unite in order to survive. Don't tell me I'm a Muslim and you're a Christian. I don't want to hear that. When you're hungry, and hungry don't give a damn what your religion is. Uh, 120 days from now, Israel will get 10 billion. Poland is asking for money. Russia is asking for money. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania are asking for money. Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia asking for money. Panama is asking. Costa Rica is asking. Guatemala is asking. Nicaragua is asking. Everybody is coming to America for money. She don't have enough to feed the whole world, so she has to prioritize now. You know that America has always been by white people for white people. Come on now, let's deal with truth. You know that if President Bush has to make a decision between Europe or Russia and Panama, or Russia and Ghana, or Russia and Zaire, or Russia and Tanzania, he will choose Russia and Israel every time over black countries, over brown countries. So they say that the president now will have to give aid to the Soviet Union and to the struggling new democracies in Europe. Meanwhile, in Africa, all the African economies are in decline. The African governments whose blood has been sucked by Europe for hundreds of years now is sitting as a neo-colonialist master, because all of Africa is in debt to the World Bank or the IMF. I don't know what that means. Black folk will find a meaning for that. Many of you in this audience have been affected by Brother Malcolm Shabazz. Raise your hands. He only went to the 8th grade. How many of you have been affected by his teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? He only went to the 4th grade. Now, what is it about an 8th grade student and a 4th grade student that shook up the world, and you with a PhD cannot shake up even your community? We have to face reality. It was never the intention of your former slave masters to truly educate you, for to educate you truly would make you free of his rule, his power, his domination, and his oppression. When Howard University was established, one of the finest black colleges in America, they said there were 3 things in Congress that they would never teach black people. 3 things. 1, the science of business. I didn't say they wouldn't teach you business administration and give you a BS
a BS, an MS, or an MBA. They got that covered. But the science of business is the science of life itself. Why aren't black people doing business? Every creature gets for itself. You don't find a black bird in a line looking to Big Bird to find it some worms. Every creature knows how to extract from this creation what it needs to build a house for itself, to feed itself, and to protect itself from its enemies. But you, with all our degrees, we have millions of black men and women out of work, and they're looking to the white man. Well, let me get my picket sign. Let's march. White folk ain't giving me a job. I'm mad. And with all the education that you're supposed to have, you asking him to make a job for you? You asking him to build a house for you? You're asking him to farm for you? So we have not been taught the science of business. You've been taught accounting so you can be a CPA in his firm. You've been taught business management so you can manage his business, but very little of your own. Then the second thing he said he would never teach black people is the science of warfare. Because if you know the science of business, you have to have the science of warfare to protect business. See, no creature is unaware of its enemy. Mama teaching the little one, look out for that, because that's your natural enemy. I have some cats and dogs at our farm, and I watch the little baby cat. When the dog comes by, you see it get up and its back hunches up. I said, boy, at that age, it knows its enemy. What happened to you? Didn't life teach you yet? Didn't your reality teach you yet? And you will trade a friend for an enemy as long as the enemy smiles at you, offers you his daughter or his son. No white woman on your arm is payment for the damage done in the Black Holocaust. No intermarriage is payment. So Here was black men who were naturally gifted in the science of warfare. Toussaint Louverture didn't go to military school, but 60,000 of Napoleon's finest, 30,000 of them were wiped out by the tactics of Toussaint Louverture. And Haiti right now is still paying for whipping Napoleon's behind. Hannibal, Genghis Khan. They study Genghis Khan in military school. But a Negro in the West must never learn military science, so that he will always be at the mercy of his open enemy. And the last thing that they said they would never teach us is the science of mating. You notice how rich white folks, they select other rich white folks. It's not an accident that Senator Kerry married Miss Hines. That's mating. See, they know how to produce thoroughbred horses, pedigreed dogs, but don't teach Negroes the science of mating. See, we mate from the navel down. White folks mate from the neck up. And incidentally, then down comes into play. But down don't guide this. But us, sister, you see a cute brother. Ain't he cute? But cute, you find out, don't pay them bills, do they, baby? Brother, you see this pretty girl, and you say, man, you tell your roommate, man, she is sure enough fine. She's shaped like a Coca-Cola bottle, baby. I'm in love. She's so sweet. Yeah, she's sweet, all right. But 6 months into the marriage, sweet have turned bitter. Because no woman can be sweet on a man that refuses to develop into a man. And there's nothing at Morehouse, nothing at Clark, nothing at Spelman that trains a woman and a man to be what God created us to be. You know how to type, you know how to do this, you know how to do that, but you don't know how to treat one another. You don't know how to choose the right one for you. You don't know how to rear children and make a great nation of people. So this is just happens to, hey baby, how you doing? Let's get it on. Oh, damn, she's pregnant. Well, it was one of them things, you know what I mean? She say, I'm pregnant. Well, what you gonna do about it? Because he sure don't want no responsibility. Damn, I thought you was protecting yourself. Well, I thought you was protecting yourself and me too. Now the unwanted child is present, interfering with your plans. Growing up warehoused in all of these so-called institutions that look after children. There's hardly a child that is not being abused. There's hardly a female in this audience who doesn't know abuse. How in the hell can a woman grow to love a man when her own father, her own uncle, her own grandfather, her own brother is misusing her? So you want to know why women don't want to be around men today? You want to know why women find more comfort with another woman? You want to know why men would rather be on the down low? Because they can't handle a woman. It takes wisdom to handle a woman properly. And when you don't have wisdom, you cannot handle a woman with your fists. So now let's talk about reparation. Tell me something. You know, I know, we know the government owes us. And we're going to...
No, I'm hearing what you're saying, and it makes sense. That if we were united, then we could eliminate poverty within our own communities.
That's correct.
If we were united, then we could stop the defamation of Mother Earth. If we were united, we could stop pollution in our waters. If we were united, we could bring an end to the pollution that comes from coal and digging for oil. If we were united, then we would be able to find the answers that our ancestors had, mine and yours, thousands of years ago, when God told us that we are the caretakers of the earth. We could find the way back to natural living through solar energy that's free, through energy from the water that's free. But as long as there's not a dollar sign tagged on it, they're not interested. And they don't care about the people.
That's why, my dear brother, when you say if we were united, in whose interest is our division? It's in their interest. Mm-hmm. Because as long as we are not united, they can continue to do as they've been doing. And John McCain and the McCains of this country will continue to rob the Indians of the value of their land, keep us divided, keep us poor. That is their tactic.
That's their goal.
Now, if we know that, and we do know it, then it is in our best interest to knock down every artificial barrier that keeps us from that power that comes from our unity. And we don't have to send 3 trucks of supplies to Rosebud or to Pine Ridge. If we are united, the land that is under our feet that we have control over, we can feed, clothe, shelter, produce jobs, because it's all in the land. So some of my brothers used to say, free the land. And if the land and much of it is in trust, we need to free the land. And we can do it if we are united and, wait a minute, and we are willing to not talk about it, but be willing to pay the price to free the land. There is no freedom without the shedding of blood. I'm sorry to have to say that. Nonviolence is not going to bring the land back to us.
Brothers and sisters. Now, Louis Farrakhan has always been talking about how black folks need to come together to fight the oppression, how black folks need to unite themselves and make sure that everything that has committed against them stops. Now, he says that we black folks are the ones to save ourselves, that we should not expect the same system that has been oppressing black people to come back and fight for the same black folks. Now, I'll want to ask you a question today, and it is a critical question that should get you thinking. Do you really think the same system, the same judicial system that works under some governments that have the judges, they are friends to some people who have been running these oppressive systems, that you think if you are brutalized by the police, you can go there and get justice? You think the same court system, the same judicial system will give justice to the people asking for reparations? Because we have been believing that the same system that created the chaos we are in today, the same systems that brought us to slavery, it is the same system that is going to get us out of the slavery, and it is the same system that is going to help us maybe improve our lives and get jobs and all this other stuff. There is need for us to compose ourselves and start asking ourselves some critical questions. I know when you go through a lot, everything to you seems to be making no sense. I truly understand that. But there is need for us as black folks to unite ourselves, unite Africa unite the motherland with the diaspora, unite leaders who are going to take this continent to the next level. There is need for us to start talking about these things. If at all we are going to keep quiet over some matters, we are going to cry without solutions. So, brothers and sisters, there is need for us as black folks to unite ourselves. And this is why I actually applaud people like Ibrahim Traore in Africa, Pilo Lumumba, Julius Malema, who have always been talking about the unity of black folks and why there is need for us to come together and fight for whatever we have lost. I know sometimes we might not regain the things that we lost, the freedom, the peace and tranquility, and all this other stuff. But we can start rebuilding them again after fighting at the oppressive systems. You might be thinking those in the diaspora are the ones only suffering. Africa has suffered as equal. The exploitation of mineral resources in Africa. Now, puppet leadership, where corruption is so high, and they have sponsored this. They have sponsored wars and mayhem in Africa. You go and look West Africa before Ibrahim Traore ascended to power, and it is all tears. Children were dying out of malnutrition. Mothers were dying while giving birth. And people were being killed. People were being tortured. They had sponsored terrorism. They had given guns to young sons and daughters of this continent who have no jobs. They had sponsored them to cause chaos so that they continue staying in power indirectly with their puppets in Africa, so that they may continue looting and exploiting this continent. I call it extortion because they are actually stealing from us. They're trying to manipulate the whole of the African continent so that they may get the better side of it and steal. So there is need for us to still talk about these things. There is need for us to, I know at the moment Louis Farrakhan is tired and is very old, and we need to get new blood. Those people will continue pushing for these narratives. Those people who will be the Malcolm X, the Martin Luther King, those people who will unite black folks. Now, it must be remembered that when Martin Luther King rose to power, and when he got that, when he suddenly became, and he had built for that, and he became someone who black folks were listening to, because during the 1960s, 1961, 1962 to 1965, black folks were being even denied the rights to vote. Black folks had a lot because of the Jim Crow laws. And so many people were going through a lot in the diaspora. The black folks were into slavery. And they were being harassed, underpaid. And the governments by then could not even hear their side of the story. Now, when Martin Luther King came into power, not that he was elected, but when the black folks started listening to Martin Luther King, and he started uniting black folks to fight for their rights, it became something that was so concerning to the government by then. And it must be considered he was even assassinated some days to when they were going to march to the White House, so that they claim and tell the government that they must listen to black folks, and they must not harass and brutalize and use the system to fight the black folks who built the same America. Now, we need people like Martin Luther King, people who are going to stand and face these oppressive systems and tell them the truth. We are having a whole bunch of puppet leadership in the black community right now. Now, this is why Louis Farrakhan says that we must hold these black folks that we vote into power accountable. That those black folks being voted in the US and in the UK, in the whole diaspora, should have an agreement, a signed agreement with the people that we are not going to sell you out, because they go to the same system. They start behaving like the system has been behaving. They get absorbed so easily into the system. They forget they were sent there by the black community to represent them and actually demand for whatever had been lost, or for whatever has not been given to black folks. We don't ask people to have favor on black folks. We ask for whatever is rightful for the black people. They have right to life, right? They have all the freedoms like any other human being living in the diaspora. So when leaders are being elected by the black community to go and represent them from Texas and all these other places, there is need for them to have an agreement, because it has been the same thing. They come, get voted, they go, forget about the people. They come with new policies and manifestos into the next election. Then they go and talk to the people. They bribe the people into power again. So if we continue this way, we are still going to have problems. And there is need for us to stop this ASAP. There is need, just like Louis Farrakhan says, there is need for us to call our leaders. Let them come back to their senses. They are losing it, and they are losing it so fast. So there is need for us to start talking the truth. The truth is whatever has been making ourselves great. Like, it is only through the truth that we are going to save ourselves. If we want to behave like them, if we want to be like the masters, if we want to behave the same way they have been, then it is the wrong direction we are taking. We must unite ourselves, we must talk the truth, and we must behave not like the system wants us to behave, but we must act with a lot of responsibility. It is so irresponsible of you to see your brother suffer while you keep quiet because you're not suffering. The next time you will suffer, who will be talking to you about you, or who will be talking on your behalf? We do not believe in the judicial. Myself, I've never believed in the judicial system worldwide, because there are people who can sell their conscience because of money and threats and all that. So do not believe in attorney that they will give you They will give you justice and all that stuff. Justice is not given. Justice has never been granted. People go and look for justice for themselves. If you're suffering and police brutality, social injustices, you're not going to get justice until you start fighting for the justice. I do not say you take arms, but I say you stand and speak for yourselves and act as up. Thank you so much for having taken the time to watch this video. Appreciate so much. It is time for us to unite as Black folks and the Black community. Thank you so much. See you in my next episode. One love.